Hi students, I hope you are keeping well in your home in lockdown situation. Um, but we will continue our studies staying at home. So uh, this is our effort. Uh, you activate your bell icon on YouTube such that we upload new video and you get notification on in your YouTube. So today I would like to discuss Coulomb's law in electrostatics. In your previous class you have learned so many basic laws in electrostatics, and you know that similar type of charges repels each other and opposite type of charges attract each other. How much force they exert on each other, this tells in Coulomb's law. So what is Coulomb's law? Coulomb's law tells us that the attractive or repulsive forces between two point charges is directly proportional to the product of their charges or amount of charges and inversely proportional to the distance square of the distance between them. Let Q1 be a point charge and Q2 be another point charge. If they are similar type charges, then they will exert force, repulsive force on each other. This force is similar. And if they are opposite charge, they attract each other with similar force. Let us assume this Q1 and Q2 are similar type charge. So they will realize repulsive force. Coulomb's law tells us that this F is proportional to the product of the amount of these two charges, and if d be the distance between them, then F is inversely proportional to the square of d. And combining these two equations, you can write F proportional to Q1 Q2 by d square, or F equals to K Q1 Q2 by d square, where K is a constant. What about the constant K? In vacuum or in air, K is written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 in SI system. And the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is 9 into 10 to the power 9. And what is epsilon 0? Epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the free space. Permittivity of the free space. This equation holds when these two point charges situated in vacuum or in air. If we put them in some other medium, what would be the case? Then this K would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon. 1 by 4 pi epsilon. K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon for other medium. where epsilon is the permittivity of that medium where the 2-point charge is situated. Considering this, what would be the mathematical form of Coulomb's law? F would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by d square. Here another term is used which is known as relative permittivity, epsilon r. Epsilon r is relative permittivity. What is relative permittivity? It is the ratio of permittivity in a medium and the permittivity of free space. It is called relative permittivity. Or in future, we will call it dielectric constant. We will also call it dielectric constant. And this value of epsilon is different for different medium, and eventually this relative permittivity would be different for different medium. Now epsilon r equals to epsilon by epsilon 0. Hence epsilon equals to epsilon r epsilon 0. And in many places you may find that Coulomb's law in that form, 4 pi epsilon r epsilon 0. We put epsilon r epsilon 0 in place of epsilon q1 q2 by r square. This is the form of Coulomb's law. Now what would be the unit of epsilon? F equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square or d square. Sorry, d square. This is d square. D square. And what is the value of epsilon? Epsilon equals to q1 q2 f into d square. Then unit of epsilon would be this 2 Coulomb into Coulomb, that is Coulomb square into this is F, Coulomb square. This F is Newton to the power minus 1, and this is meter, also meter to the power minus 2. From the equation of this of Coulomb's law, we may define 1 Coulomb charge. What is one Coulomb charge? What is the value of 1 Coulomb charge? F equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 by d square. If q1 equals to q2 equals to q, that is 2-point charge is of same amount, and d equals to 1 meter, and if f equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Newton, that is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton, then from equation 1 we get 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square 1 square, that is q equals to q square equals to 1, that is q equals to plus minus 1. From this derivation we get definition of 1 Coulomb. What would be the definition of 1 Coulomb? If 2 point charge of same amount and opposite type situated at 1 meter apart, if they put 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton force on each other, that is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton force on each other, then each point charge is called 1 Coulomb charge. Each point charge is called 1 Coulomb charge. Now we write Coulomb's law in vector form. Let us take a three-dimensional system, x, y and z axis, and let here is charge q1 at position vector r1, and here is another charge q2 whose position vector is r2. Then what would be the force on q2? Then the force on q2 would be F21, such that F21 means force on q2 by the charge q1, and this is F12, that is force on q1 by charge q2. Then what would be the value of this F12? F12
Start.
F12 would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Here F12 would be vector quantity, it would also be vector quantity. F12 be q1 q2 divided by r square, that is r square is this magnitude between this distance, magnitude, the distance q between q1 and q2, and it will be the unit vector. If it is unit vector q21, then this would be r21 cap, because this force is in the direction r21. This repulsive force at q1 and q2 is of same type. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2, what would be r21? R21 here, R2 here, R2 from triangular law, R2 plus R21 equals to R1, that is R21 equals to R1 minus R2. That is here R2, that is R21, or in other way we may call it R21. That is, this would be R21 vector divided by R21. From the law of unit vector, you know that this r cap, unit vector r cap is r cap 21 is R21 divided by R21. That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 divided by R21. R21 means R1 minus R2 vector, this mod, this is cube, and R1 minus R2. This is a vector form. And what would be the value of F21? And value of F21 would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 divided by R2 minus R1 cube into R2 minus R1. This is the vector form of Coulomb's law. This F21 exert in this direction and F12 exert in this direction. This is the vector form of Coulomb's law. Now, I would like to discuss about the superposition principle. Superposition principle. What is superposition principle? If there are many point charges in a space, then what would be the resultant force on a point charge? Let here many charges Q1, Q2, Q3, so many charges Q3, that is dot 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 Qn, many charges are there. Here it is, we may take it Q4. We first we take 4 point charge Q1, Q2, Q3, Q3 is 2, and Q4, 4 point charge. Then what would be the resultant force on Q3? Here first Q1 will exert a force on Q3. If they are of same type, then they feel in this direction, force in this direction. This is F31, that is force on Q3 due to F1. And what is force due to Q2? This would be the force on Q2, that is this is F3 2. And what would be the force due to Q4 on Q3? This would be F3 4. That is resultant force on Q3 is F3. F3. This is the resultant force on Q3 due to Q1, Q2 and Q4. This force would be the vector sum due to all the forces, that is F31, F32 plus F34. Similarly, what would be the force on Q1? The force of Q1 is F1. This is force on Q2. Sorry, Q3. Here total force. Total force on Q1. Q1, what would be Q1? F1 would be F12, that is force on Q1 due to Q2 plus F1 3, that is force on Q1 due to Q3, and F1 4. in general, we may write that force on any charge I, if there be Q1, Q2, Q3, Qn charges, then what would be the force on ith charges? What would be the force on ith charge? Fi would be Fi1 plus Fi2 plus Fi3 plus Fin, excluding okay, here Fij, that is summation over j, but here j equals to 1 to n, but I not equals to j. That is, if we consider force on Q3, then Q3 cannot exert force on Q3, that is F33. F33 is not possible. So here I and j is excluded. Here I not equals to j. That is Fi equals to j equals to 1 to n, I not equals to j, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. That is value of, what is the value of Fij? That is Qi Qj divided by Rj minus Ri cube Rj vector minus Ri. This is the force on ith particle. This is the superposition principle. In our next video, we will discuss about electric field and some problems on Coulomb's law. You activate your bell icon such that you get a notification after publishing our video. Okay, keep well, bye.